I'm Andre Huey, and this is the SKN Newsline Newscast. Welcome.
As the new outbreak of COVID-19 cases continues, the Education Minister is urging student vaccination in the new school year. SKN Newsline's Glenn Bart reports.
As the opening of the new school year draws near for students, Minister of Education Donald Powell made an appeal to parents and guardians for their children to be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. On a 25th August televised address, the Minister of Health pointed to major long-term negative fallout of unscheduled school closures. According to the Minister, the vaccination of students, teachers and staff of primary and high schools will make the school environment safer. While vaccination of students against COVID-19 is not mandatory, Powell urged parents to consider the long-term impact associated with the education of their children.
I am making a passionate appeal to the general public, particularly parents of children, and all workers within the Ministry of Education to seriously and urgently pursue the taking of the COVID-19 vaccine if you have not yet done so. The educational, psychological, cognitive, and psychosocial cost of unscheduled interruption to schooling is tremendous and scarily long-term. Our nation's children deserve the best possible education, and the reality is that face-to-face instruction is undoubtedly the best. With this in mind, the Ministry of Education welcomes the acquisition of the Pfizer vaccines that can be administered to our school-age children of age 12 years and older. Students have been crying out for the return to face-to-face instruction, and it is my sincere hope that all parents and guardians of children 12 years and above will come forward with their children to receive the Pfizer vaccine so that the children would not continue to experience learning loss. I therefore look forward to the collaboration with the Ministry of Health to host joint information and sensitization sessions for parents and teachers in preparation for the rollout of the Pfizer vaccine.
It is understood that on a daily basis there will be COVID-19 safety protocols for every person entering school compounds. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
Labour Minister Wendy Phibbs has sought to address concerns about the dismissal of persons based on the COVID-19 policies of the private sector. More in this report. The government has broken its silence on the dismissal of workers who have reportedly refused the COVID-19 vaccine. There has been an outcry by some sections of the public against the dismissal of workers who have refused to be vaccinated and called on the authorities to speak out. Labour Minister Wendy Phibbs, during the Prime Minister's press conference on Tuesday, while empathizing with the displaced workers, assured that the law would be followed in these instances.
So legally, the Ministry of Labour, the Department of Labour, will make every effort to ensure that the rights of workers are protected, but at the same time, based on how the laws are written, and that the rights of workers, employers, as well as what government looks at as its own role in terms of labor administration, we have to recognize that we still are governed by the law. So whatever may be our emotions, rightly placed, we still are guided by the law. The Prime Minister is absolutely correct in terms of indicating that the Department of Labour will do everything in its power to ensure that rights of workers, just like rights of employers, are protected and respected, but at the same time, the individual also has recourse to the High Court.
Former opposition MP Marcella Liebert, during a protest on Friday where protesters were voicing their grievance against the vaccine and the dismissal of workers, chided the Labour Minister and the government for not addressing the issue.
We can't hear nothing from the government. The government doesn't think. Minister of Labour, the Prime Minister and all the others don't think that 30-something people losing their jobs is important enough for the government to come out and say anything about it. What is happening to the church? This is so wrong. So much discrimination going on in the country. And we're not hearing anything from the authorities.
It is said several workers with some major establishments on the island were dismissed for not choosing to be vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine. Most establishments, especially those in the hospitality sector, gave workers the option of either taking the COVID-19 vaccine or tests for the disease every 2 weeks at their expense. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. When we come back, the police comment on illegal protests.
Hey, man, I just can't believe, boy.
Yo, sweet boy, what you really crying for?
Why you see me crying, boy? My man crying. I just see her thinking about that girl. I think she cheating on me, you know.
You lie.
Boy, for real. A couple of weeks ago, right? She come telling me how I'm too sweet. And that I just make she belly roll and I got her thighs rubbing. What is that?
No, man.
But yes. Look, she tell me, right, that we need some time apart. To be honest, I wasn't too concerned about that because you know how the girls and them, they're addicted to me sweetness. But then I see she the other day and the girl looking so good, looking so fresh and so lean.
Boy, you sure she addicted to you?
But yes. But wait. Look at her. Come. Hide. Boy, come hide now. Oh, I can't believe, but is that what going on? Really? Why you got to say for yourself?
Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody, hey.
If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all your electronics, you only have 2 stores to choose from. Island Electronics on 4th Street, Bastyr, and Smart Electronics at Port Zante. At Island Electronics, you have some of the top brands in electronics, from the top-of-the-line smartphones, Samsung and iPhone, laptop computers, smart TVs, washing machines, small appliances, phone accessories, refrigerators, and so much more. Brands include Whirlpool, Samsung, Black & Decker, HP, and much more. Island Electronics is located in the heart of Bastyr. Make it easy for you to access and shop. You can also choose to shop at Smart Electronics. Get the same great deals and quality products, the widest array in smartphones, including the latest Samsung Z Fold, smart TVs, and simply the best in household appliances like stoves, refrigerators, washing machines, even dishwashers. At Smart Electronics, get products for your leisure, headphones, video games, from Nintendo Switch to PlayStation 5, Bluetooth speakers, and much more. It's so hot these days. Well, at Smart Electronics, you can buy fans or air conditioners. And the brands that Smart Electronics carry are simply the best. JBL, Beats, Whirlpool, Amazon, LG, Samsung, HP, Dell, RCA, and many more. You can choose to buy cash or on layaway. So if you're looking for electronic stores with the best deal and quality, Island Electronics and Smart Electronics are your only choices. Choose the store of your convenience. Contact them today. Smart Electronics at 466-4271 or WhatsApp 668-2818 or Island Electronics at 665-8677. 2 stores, 1 great experience.
Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500. Homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007, or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve. Welcome back. The police has reiterated its position on illegal protests during the state of emergency. More in this report. Police have doubled down on their action on Friday during a protest action in Bastyr, where 3 persons were arrested, reportedly for breaching the Public Order Act. The police, in a statement earlier this week, chided the handful of protesters who took to the streets to protest COVID-19 vaccination and what they deem an injustice where workers were dismissed for failing to take the vaccine. A press release issued by the St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force earlier this week stated that no application was submitted to the Commissioner of Police to hold the protest. The release referred to a warning that was issued earlier after police learned about the intended activity. in which police pointed out that such an activity would be illegal under the Emergency Powers COVID-19 regulations and the Public Order Act. The release also stated that participants were in breach of several COVID-19 protocols, such as physical and social distancing and the wearing of masks. The release made no mention of a tear gas incident. On Tuesday, at the Prime Minister's press conference, Assistant Commissioner of Police Adolph Adams reiterated the police's position.
Illegal marches can cause property damage or structural damage to businesses, and so we would want to, not allow those things to happen within our federation. We also are saying illegal marches in the night are prohibited. We have seen the march on Friday going down to the wee hours of Friday evening, and these things are prohibited by the law. Reason why these are not allowed are because persons can hide behind the cover of darkness and engage in any type of activities. All right? We have officers who are out there on the ground, and we will do all in our power to ensure that our safety, the safety of the general public, is maintained at all times. As a result of the illegal march or protest on Friday, 3 persons were arrested and charges were brought against them. That is my update on the protest that took place on Friday.
3 individuals were arrested and charged during the protest on August 20th, and they were released after appearing in the Bastille Magistrates Court on Monday. The 3 were released on posting $15,000 bail each. It is understood that the Director of Public Prosecution intends to drop the charges against the 3 based on insufficient evidence. The charges laid against the 3 persons included taking part in a public procession without permission from the police, breach of the peace, willful obstruction, obstructing a police officer, resisting arrest, and malicious damage. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline. The National COVID-19 Task Force approved new proposals for the presentation of the 2021 Culturama edition of the Nevis Festival. Glenn Bart reports.
The National COVID-19 Task Force has approved the holding of a virtual version of Culturama 47, said Abdia Samuel, the chairman of the task force. The event is being held as cases of COVID-19 rise in the Federation in what is considered to be a 3rd wave of infection. A COVID-19 lockdown scrapped the hosting of Culturama in July and August, and the Culturama Committee scrambled to package a new product for hosting during the country's independence celebration period. During a 25th August NEOC COVID-19 briefing, Samuel announced the approval of the new Culturama program.
National COVID-19 Task Force has approved the virtual activities for the Nevis Culturama. So Culturama 47 festivities has been approved in a virtual form. So you will see that it will be a virtual edition of Culturama 47. So I want to thank Mr. Antonio Abonati-Libert and his team and Nevis for working very hard to ensure that there is some form of Culturama in Nevis, and this will be done innovatively, creatively through a virtual platform. Our understanding is that there will be a Soca Monarch tent that would start on the 28th of August, a senior Calypso tent, and the 4th of September there will be a Soca Monarch semi-final, and Sunday the 5th there will be senior Calypso semi-final, and they will have a culture pot on the 16th, which is the National Heroes Day. The Poet in the Square, which would have been held at the War Memorial Square, we have advised them, meaning the Culturama Committee, to have that activity moved to another location and be done virtually.
Other events have also been reorganized for virtual presentation or have been cancelled. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
When we come back, regional news. Want to buy some fresh fruits, vegetables, or ground provision, but don't have the time to go to the market or even to find parking?
Look no further. Green Market and Delivery is your solution. Green Market and Delivery is an e-commerce store that sells and delivers local produce to customers in St. Kitts and Nevis. Anything you purchase, you can get fresh from the market and delivered directly to your door. Log on to www.greenmarketskn.com. Click on the e-store link, choose your items, and shop away. We have a wide array of products from fruits, vegetables, local products, spices and seasonings, and much more. Save time and energy. Shop on greenmarketskn.com, your one-stop shop for fresh local produce.
Are you ready to create high-performing TV commercials?
Ready.
Ready. Ready. Create and tell compelling stories. Reach your target audience. And build brand awareness. Our strategies and execution will provide for your desired outcome and clearly represent your brand. Visit us at www.madebyopen.com and get started on your creative video commercial today. Lights, camera, Open Interactive.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one. On Wednesday morning, Travis Chase traveled to Region 10 in Guyana to cover the massive march against mandatory vaccination staged by residents as they reminded the government that it's their bodies and therefore their choice. AGP TV in Guyana reports.
My body! My body!
Hundreds of protesters rallied in Linden, Region 10 on Wednesday to push back against the government of Guyana's COVID-19 gazetted measures, part of which mandates COVID-19 vaccines for all government employees, especially by those in the healthcare system. Exactly 2 weeks ago, doctors, nurses, administrative staff, and other unvaccinated staff of the Linden Hospital complex were prevented from entering their place of employment. That resulted in protest action and ultimately forced the Health Ministry to give healthcare workers and public transportation operators until today, August 25, to be vaccinated against COVID-19. At the forefront of the protest was Apostle Nigel London.
This is not an ethnic occasion. This is a people occasion, where persons of every ethnicity is affected by a decision. And it has to be reversed, because we do not stand for it.
As the government fights to contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus, their policy is clear that only vaccinated persons would be allowed to enter any government ministry or agency, and the unvaccinated would have to make appointments. Apostle London fired up the crowd as he chanted no to forced vaccination.
That the president may view this, that the Minister of Health may view this, and they can reconsider. Even the Minister of Education can view this and consider that the teachers who served faithfully, the nurses who served faithfully, the taxi drivers who served, the police officers, the frontline workers who served faithfully deserve to be respected.
The protesters, some of who are employees of the healthcare system, said they're fighting for medical liberty, even though the Ministry of Health says the decision not to allow unvaccinated persons to work is about safety.
If anything is so good, why you have to force me to take it?
According to the protesters, the denial of basic services, including the right to access basic medical services, is aimed at forcing Guyanese, and especially Londoners, to take the COVID-19 jabs.
But if you're going to keep changing your story about the vaccine, I don't want it. It began with the vaccine being able to prevent COVID infection. It changed to the vaccine being able to keep me out of hospital if I get infected.
Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
A local brewing company in Grenada is warning against the milk crate challenge and the use of their crates to perform such stunts. The crate challenge is taking social media by storm, with failed attempts that could lead participants in the hospital. More from GBN News.
I don't think it is 100% accurate to say that we are not doing mass testing because, for example, I think between today and Friday, we have about 60 employees or more from the Nutmeg Pooling Grove who were potentially exposed, who we are going to be, we are actually swabbing them.
That's what I mean.
So Blossom, in every health district, there are health facilities. You have health centers and you have medical stations. We have about 32, well, I think, let's say about 31 in operation because one or two might be under repair. But we do have stations there, and people can contact the nurse there and request it as much as possible if they think that they were potentially exposed.
Frederick added that they are, however, testing and will continue to test through contact tracing, but the concentration now is on people who have been immediately exposed, and so they are avoiding any unnecessary risks.
And what we have also seen, Blossom, not everybody, but I also need to put that out there. Persons, because we know a number of persons who wanted to be tested. They got tested, and after they got tested, they feel, well, they're Superman or Superwoman, so they're just out there all about, and they are also fronting the protocols. And we are saying that even if we do that amount of testing and you continue to be irresponsible, yes, it does not in any way address the situation and curb the spread, because we know what our challenges are with respect to our health facilities. And if that curve is not flattened, yes, if that curve continues to peak, we are in serious problem.
The Ministry of Health has embarked on its third outreach for persons to be vaccinated. The process began on Tuesday, with stations present at both Willis and the Health Promotion Center at the Ministry. Frederick highlighted the planned locations for the rest of this week where persons can get vaccinated.
Our God's will, from 8:30 to 12 noon, we are going to be at St. David's Police Station right there. If you can't miss us, we will be on the tent. All of our nurses and so on will be there. Then from 9 to 5 p.m., that's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Grenville Bus Terminus. And from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Cafe Junction. So then on Friday, God's will, the 27th, from 8:30 to 12 noon, we will be at the Soteres Bus Terminus. 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., we are going to be at Tivoli Pasture.
Frederick was guest on GBN's To The Point on Wednesday. Christina John, GBN News.
The Pentagon on Thursday confirmed 2 explosions near the Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, which have resulted in a number of U.S. and civilian casualties. More from NBC News.
Quick update this morning on some breaking news we brought you in the last hour, and that is the Pentagon confirming there has been an explosion outside Kabul airport where thousands of people have gathered to try to evacuate the country. Initial reports suggest it was caused by a suicide bomber and that there are casualties. The president has been briefed. Interestingly, the market did come a little bit lower on that news. In recent days, we have had several countries, including the British, warn of the danger of an imminent attack. And even though the White House this morning has said we've airlifted about 100,000 people, this is going to create problems for the few that do remain. And as Jen Psaki said yesterday, the White House trying to reach out through all kinds of channels, texting, WhatsApp, to say if you are interested in leaving, you have to do it now. And here are some ideas on how to get to the airport.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking watching what appears to be kind of this window of opportunity to evacuate, if need be, kind of narrowing at this point in time. I think it was also the British urging those who do want to evacuate Afghanistan to do so through its borders at this point in time, that the idea of doing so from the airport has become increasingly dangerous, and the, urging them to kind of assess other options on that front.
As consumer prices in the United States rise at their fastest pace in 13 years, there are some signs the inflation rate may be peaking. More in this report from Al Jazeera.
It's another day heading into work for Brian Kulas, and it's no easy commute to get to his job as a banquet server. It's 160 kilometers, almost 2 hours, each way from his home in East Brunswick, New Jersey, to his job in Atlantic City. He doesn't do it by choice, but out of necessity. It's the only job he can find where he makes enough income to survive each month, but barely.
People, I don't always think, realize what it's like to have to live on half a penny. I call it sometimes splitting pennies.
Brian is one of an estimated 125 million Americans who live paycheck to paycheck. It's now even made harder by rising inflation. For many years, the inflation rate in the U.S. hovered around 2%, but it's been steadily increasing this year to where it's now about 5.5%, the highest it's been since 1990. Food, rent, energy, new cars, those are the sectors that have seen the biggest price jump. And economists say it only takes a slight increase in inflation to cause a huge impact.
The perception that inflation is a problem could lead us to make some very bad choices in terms of the economy. If we, God forbid, raise interest rates right now while unemployment is still elevated, that could be a real economic disaster.
Anti-poverty advocates say inflation is only a small part of a bigger problem.
The income inequality that has been growing over the last few decades is really the key concern. We've had wage stagnation in this nation since the early 1970s, and wages have for decades not kept up with the high increases in costs of living.
For Brian, he faces a new challenge. His landlord raised his rent. He can no longer afford it, so he'll be evicted next month.
It's like taking a look around because I can't afford to live here. I don't belong here. It's a really nice place, but I'm out, only because I can't afford it.
He says if he can't find anywhere else to live, that car he drives to work will also then become his home. Gabriel Ozondo, Al Jazeera, East Brunswick, New Jersey.
In sports, the Sandy Point community honors three-time Olympian Jason Rogers. More in this report. The community of Sandy Point hosted a special event for St. Kitts and Nevis Olympian Jason Rogers on Wednesday night in Sandy Point. The event was attended by Member of Parliament for the area, Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards, President of the St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee, Mr. Alfonso Bridgewater, SKN athletics officials, and well-wishers and friends. Mr. Richards lauded the accomplishment of Jason in an address to the audience.
You have to help to mold our athletes. You have to help to encourage our athletes. Give them the support. It is not all the time that you might be physically available to do so. But when you meet them, have the motivational talks with them. Encourage them. Let them know that you too, you had obstacles, but you were able to rise to the top, and likewise, they can do so. You have been given much, and much is also expected.
Others also spoke in Jason's honor, including Jason himself.
A group of concerned Sandy Pointers got together and decided that we should not let this moment go unnoticed. We should not allow our son of the soil, who represented us very well, go without any little form of recognition. So we got together, a committee of us, and we decided to put this little ceremony together.
Thank you, Jason, for your pride. The pride you exhibit every time you don the colors of St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you for demonstrating pride as well, which is trumped by your humility.
Person of our ambassador, Mr. Jason Rogers, who I am sure can attest to the journey behind his accomplishments. We, not only as a community, but as a country, are proud, extremely proud, of our brother and son, Jason Rogers.
What's I want people, you know? Big up yourself, Jason, you don't know.
I just want to say a heartfelt thank you. For something like this, you guys are proud, you guys are happy for me, but in truth and in fact, I feel like way better than y'all because it's just different, and I don't even know how to explain it, but just to be on the opposite side, trust me, the feeling is very heightened, and I'm overly joyous right now. So.
Jason Rogers was one of 2 athletes who represented St. Kitts and Nevis at the just concluded Tokyo Olympics. The other is first-time Olympian Amaya Clark. This was Jason's 3rd participation in the Olympic Games. A dinner was held in Jason's honor the night before, organized by SKN Athletics. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
This has been the SKN Newsline Newscast. I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching. For more news, you can visit our website at www.sknewsline.com or visit our Facebook page. From all of us here at SK Newsline and at Channel 95, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.